Want to know some behind-the-scenes secrets and info about Stranger Things Season 4? We got your back. After all, Season 4 has had its first volume out for a while now, and with the second volume coming out on July 1st, you're no doubt going to go and relive the previous episodes again to make sure that you have all the details you can before going into the two-part finale. But could the behind-the-scenes stuff show you? Well, as in all things, it can give you some interesting insight into the process it took to make these episodes. Because trust us when we say, it is a lot of work and effort. Eleven's outfits this season. Now you may have noticed Eleven's costuming this season is less vibrant than in Season 3. The outfits are meant to still be very tied to the Hawkins colors as opposed to integrated into the brighter California colors, visually showing that she's still out of place in her new home. Will's costuming is also still very tied to Hawkins colors and patterns, showing that he's not adjusting to California life easily either. This perfectly showcases how the series tries to tie everything into the mood of the cast and what they're feeling or doing. The buyers in 11 may have had to move away from Hawkins after what happened at the end of Season 3, but that doesn't mean that they don't miss all that they lost, and their outfits prove that, showing once again that even the tiniest of details can reflect the story and the world around them. The cost of making Season 4. Each episode of Season 4 is said to have cost $30 million, meaning the entire season has had a budget of around $300 million. It is one of the most expensive Netflix shows to date, so it is a good thing it is such a popular show, which was proven once again when it broke records upon its release. Now, there is an explanation to the larger cost for this season, not the least of which is that it took a long time to get back up and running and to be safe with the new protocols. Second, the cast, especially the younger cast, all got pay raises for each episode that they did, so naturally that upped the cost as well. Finally, you need to remember that a lot of these episodes had a longer run time than the previous episodes of the season, so as a result of that makes the cost go way up. Furthermore, Volume 2 has 2 episodes that are basically movie length. It costs a lot to make a show like this, so please be grateful for Netflix for allowing such a budget. Spanning the globe to film a season. Production this year was set across 3 main filming locations, more than any previous season: Atlanta, Georgia, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Lithuania. The scenes set at Pennhurst Mental Hospital were filmed at Berry College in Rome, Georgia, about an hour and a half outside of Atlanta. It's the largest college campus in the world with 27,000 acres of land. All in all, it's cool to hear about all these locations that they got to film on, and it just shows just how far they went to try and make the show feel like it was where it needed to be. The CREEL House. The real-life CREEL House location is in Rome, Georgia, just a few miles from Berry College. The creative team was looking for a uniquely frightening house with a distinct presence, vertical architecture, and a third-level attic. When production designer Chris Trujillo first saw the house, it reminded him of Norman Bates' house in Psycho. The real-life CREEL house was built in the 1870s and was previously a bed and breakfast. The homeowners moved from Minnesota with the intention of renovating it. About a month after they closed on the house and began renovations, the locations team for Stranger Things came a-knocking on their door. QUIKSILVER. Heading to California for some of the filming has seen a bit of change of vibe in Stranger Things 4. The costuming team collaborated with QUIKSILVER to design Argyle's California-specific look this season. His shoes were custom-made by Vans, and he wears custom tie-dye socks. Mike's California costume was also manufactured by QUIKSILVER. It's meant to look a little too matchy-matchy. Accurate costumes. To source historically accurate costuming pieces for the Russian portions of the season, the costuming team went to Poland to pick pieces and also relied on a military advisor. The pieces you see in the show are historically accurate uniforms. The color palette in Russia skews colder with monochromatic blues and greens and contrasts with the California and Hawkins settings. Prison time. Authenticity was an important part of the Russian storyline in Stranger Things 4. The Russian prison scenes were shot at a real prison in Lithuania, which was a former prison that shut down operations in 2019. Vecna and Freddy Krueger. The Stranger Things 4 monster Vecna was heavily influenced by Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street films, as well as Pinhead from the Hellraiser series. Robert Englund, the actor who famously plays Krueger in the franchise, also plays the character of Victor CREEL this season. Time to make Vecna. To apply Vecna's full-body practical look, it took a 4-man team between 6 and 7 hours. The character had to be camera-ready early in the morning, so the application process usually began around 2 or 3 a.m. and would take an extra hour at the end of the day just to remove. Contacts. Because of Argyle's specific interest, Eduardo Franco, who plays him, is wearing bloodshot contacts throughout the season. It was the first time Franco had ever had to wear contacts. Sometimes you have to go the distance to play the part. Skin. Everyone in all of the institutions this season, the Hawkins Lab, Penhurst Mental Hospital, and Kamchatka, have been made up to reflect their drab, colorless surroundings. The makeup team used green makeup to remove the pink, healthier tones from the actor's skin. Mimicking celebs. Originally, the Duffer Brothers wanted Eddie's hair to have a look similar to David Bowie's iconic mane as Jareth in The Labyrinth. The hair team based the final look on Ozzy Osbourne and other well-known band members from the 80s. Chrissy's hair design was inspired by Olivia Newton-John's character Sandy in Grease, very American good girl classic cheerleader, but with very 80s bangs. Jason's hair design was based on Tom Cruise's hair as Joel in Risky Business. Scrunchies. You might have noticed a lot of the characters wearing hair scrunchies, which is very 80s. The costuming team makes all of the scrunchies on the show so that they match the rest of the costuming exactly. This season, Max's scrunchie has been dyed a darker color to show that she's been wearing the same one for over a year, so it looks a little dirtier and sadder. Plus, at the end of Season 3, the Stranger Things hair team intentionally gave Eleven the same green scrunchie that Max wore earlier in the season as a small parting gift from her friend. The ring. Now we can forgive you for not noticing this, but in Stranger Things 4, Eleven is wearing a ring that was meant to have been given to her by Mike at some point, further showing just how much their relationship is growing despite them very much being apart due to their new locations. No doubt between Volumes 2 and Season 5, fans are hoping that Eleven and Mike don't have to worry about anything else keeping them apart, but then again, with their luck, that can't be something you can guarantee at all. The meaning of hair. Now, you should know by now that nothing on this show is done by accident. Lucas's new flat-top haircut signifies his transition into a more popular jock, and was inspired by the hip-hop duo Kid and Play. This season, Mike is trying to grow his hair out like Eddie, his new role model, so it's a little longer in the back with short layers. Will has the same bowl-cut hairstyle to show he is still very tied to childhood and wants things to remain the same. Eleven's hair this season is meant to look frizzy and mousy and mirror the character's insecurity and lack of self-esteem now that she doesn't have her powers. Hopper's shaved hair this season is meant to match Eleven's shaved head look in Season 1, a full father-daughter moment. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at Stranger Things Season 4 and all the various elements that went into the show being as grand as it was this partial season? Were you surprised by some of the details that were very much thought out? Did you not expect certain characters to have that much story and just how they looked? What do you hope happens in the final 2 episodes of the season? Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you next time on the channel.